Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome. My name is Tero Pes, and I'm the Vice Board Chair of TCCA and the Chair of Critical Communications Broadband Group. And here with me is Peter Schmitt. Hello, wonderful to have you. He is the 3GPP CT Chair. Great to have you here. We had Incheon plenaries last week, as well as 6G workshop, and it will be wonderful to hear your take from those and what has been happening.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Tero, and thanks for the opportunity to talk to you here. And yes, it was an interesting meeting last week, especially on this 6G workshop, where we had a huge number of people. So it means a nice full room with a lot of interested parties. And I have prepared a short slide set on this. I will share it soon, and afterwards we can talk in detail.
Okay, very good. I will hand over the screen to you.
Thank you. So at least, so we had CT number 107 and the 6G workshop. And in these slides, I was focusing on the high-level summary plus topics which might be of interest of TCCA. So the first thing what was done at plenary was that we had elections, because my first term has ended. So I have been elected as CT chair for my second term. Hiroshi Ishikawa was elected as for his first term as vice chair. François Burat was newly elected, and Biao Long was also re-elected for a second term. Maybe just for information, so Hiroshi Ishikawa was also elected a couple of meetings ago, so he had only a part term. So he was elected the first time, because in 3B, in TSG level, only the full terms are counted. Half terms are not counted. Then we have done again some maintenance stuff in CT as usual. So this time we had release 14 CRs, then no release 15 CRs, some release 16 CRs, some release 17, a little bit higher number for release 18, but still going down compared to the last. So everything is getting stable. And then release 19, this year we see really we had the huge number of documents, this time more than 600. Last time we had 900, but this was due to the fact that we had 2 meetings in the last quarter, and this time we had only 1 set of working group meetings. And we had approved 9 new work item descriptions. So as you have seen, still correction on release 18, but the main task and most time we spent on release 19, and we approved also 2 TRs for release 19. Some information for TCCA regarding communication with other organizations. There was, for example, from CEN. They have sent us an LS to CT. It was also sent to SA. But we decided in CT that CT1 should reply to this one, because CN had identified some issues. They've asked for a couple of requirements. And in the last meeting, CT1 had replied to them that they could only pass half of them, and they asked for more details. So if you are interested on these e-call stuff, it might be of interest if you join the CT1 meeting in April next month. And then public warning systems, this might be also of interest for you. We had a request from CCSA for a new or a changed public warning system, integrating some kind of digital signature. But in CT, we had the opinion that SA1 should reply to this and clarify first the requirements before we are jumping in and adding a new PVS system or a drastically changed PVS system. And then we had here just a list of new work items, which just those which are maybe of interest for you. I think I can skip going in detail here, but so it's on PRU usage extension support by core network, CT aspects of energy efficiency and energy saving, network controlled network slice selection, then application data analytic enables enhancements for SM policy, aspects of IP domain, UID service API support for MSI Zenwerk, and then CT aspects of application-enabled aspects for MMTEL. And yeah, and some furthermore, maybe I should skip it here and go to, so two TRs were approved, one on IMS disaster prevention and restoration. This might be of interest for you because this is regarding the voice service in 4G and 5G. And then these 19 topics on where TCCA is interesting. So overall, we have on most of these topics, we had good progress. There are some where we had low progress, but still we have 6 months to go to complete this. So in the moment, everything looks quite in a good shape. So far to the CT plenary. Let's come to the 6G workshop. So we had 750 participants, which were in the meeting room. More than 600 had requested to be online, but not all of them have joined this. Some have also popped up in the meeting room. But we had a separate meeting room where they could, was those people who did not have the chance to go into the big room could listen to the presentations. And I've just highlighted here out of the summary of this workshop some topics which might be of interest for you. So regarding motivations for 6G, so support of new services and use cases, AI and automation. This comes nearly in every contribution from the different vendors and operators and MRPs. Everybody more or less highlighted AI. Energy efficiency was also brought up by, and sustainability was brought up by many people, and improved service reliability and customer experience, and network simplification was also highlighted by many contributions to this workshop. Coming to the 6G goals, just so I think resilience, security, and efficiency might be also some topics which are of high interest for TCCA. Coming to CT aspects which were mentioned here, which were highlighted during this workshop, there's a summary document which has a last digits are 243. It's a high-level summary, doesn't provide any details. I just want to highlight some of them. These 20 will be the study phase for 6G. Regarding CT, which impacts CT and the architecture, 3 statements I noted: reuse of 5G, simplified 5G, and new 6G architecture for 6G. So you see, this sounds like some discussions in the next couple of months to get here consensus. And AI seems to be one of the drivers for 6G. In CT, we will be discussing 6G topics in Q4 of this year. So you can expect the study items for 6G in CT in Q4 25 and Q1 26. Maybe as a reminder, stage 2 level. Possible study items in CT are on network selection, steering of roaming, public warning system, SMS, and restoration. So some of these topics seems to be also very valuable for you. And this was my short summary from this. So I will stop sharing and we should be back now.
Thank you very much, Peter, for the summary on both on the 107 CT plenary as well as the joint 6G 3GPP workshop. Maybe a quick question on the workshop. One of the goals there was also interoperability, and of course that is fundamentally the general purpose of standards in the first place, that there is a common multi-vendor market. However, maybe do you know in further detail what is actually the objective of the statement there, interoperability? Is it some different type of certification, testing schemes, or what's behind that one?
Yeah, at least it was nothing in detail said, but at least for simplification, we also only want to provide, at least just with my interpretation of the presentations, that we will have only interoperability to 5G. So independent how 6G will look like, we will provide an interworking to 5G. At least this is my current understanding.
So the statement there was not so much about device certification and so on, but more that in 6G era, the 6G network should support in parallel 5G service, but not necessarily anymore 4G, 3G. Well, certainly not 2G and 3G, maybe not 4G, but it should support at least 5G standalone NR, if that was correctly understood.
Yes, it was mostly focusing on 5G, but not providing interoperability from 6G to 4G. With this, we mean it would have not be an active handover from a 6G network to a 4G network.
So basically, it might drop a call or have a break or something. Okay, very good. Obviously, also we were very happy as TCCA to have our 5 minutes of fame as part of the 6G workshop and present the basic statement that we find trust as a key feature, which interprets into reliability, availability, integrity, security, and all of those things. And perhaps what is your view on the sentiment in 3GPP about that? I maybe was listening to the audience in a positive sense, that no one was against the basic needs of critical communication. How did you interpret the workshop on that one?
Let's say in this way, in the moment in 3P, we are still trying to get all the MRPs in the boat to collect from them the requirements, and we're still trying to capture these requirements of them so that we have a network which all can use. Because this would be a nightmare if we state at the beginning, yes, we will cover everything, we will try to reflect all the requirements, and then we wouldn't discard requirements or ignore the opinions of people. Yeah, or like you, TCA, this would be a nightmare if this would come up, and this would be also against the interest of 3GP. Because as said, 6G should be something which can be used by everybody and just activating or deactivating the functionality he need.
Very, very good. That's obviously something we want to hear. At the same time, from our sector point of view, we try to be very, very practical. And for instance, if the if we are able to prove and verify the 5G NR, well, device-to-device side link over 5G and make sure that it works. We are not calling for it to be reinvented in 6G, but we would wish and obviously need it to be part of the entire 3GPP system also in the future. How do you see this?
Yeah, my special request, or more or less, would be that you give us I assume you have now in the meantime some experience with using 5G for your purposes. So it would be good to get some feedback and improvements you would like to have. Because this is the main part what we need to take into account, that we get this information. What are the improvements you need? What are the negative sides, what you have identified? And this would be something what you should bring into during Release 20, when we are doing the study items, that you bring in these issues, bring it in so that we can consider it for 6G. If we need do some drastic improvements to fulfill something, this would be then really good to get this in advance so that we can cover this at the beginning. That we do not have, as you know, it's always bad to add something, especially for restoration and so on. If you need to put something in at a later stage, it's always tricky. If we know all these things in advance, it can be considered much better, in a better way.
Absolutely. When we talk about network resilience, availability, recovery, self-healing, all of those things, it appears to me that many of them are hooks and features like that in the standard level, whereas then it's the actual task of the implementation to utilize the information provided by the system in order to recover, and then obviously for the whoever operates the network to have these tools in place to make sure that the systems work and provide good service, good reliable service.
Yeah, yes, this is really these two steps. First, from standard point, we have to make it possible, and then it's up to the vendors to implement everything.
Yes.
And if both steps are working, then everybody is happy.
Yeah, and of course there's still the role for the operators to have the services running in the networks, and obviously we as the sector, we have our own responsibility to make sure that we are part of all the work in all layers, including regulation, which is also quite significant here. On this, thank you so much for sharing. Do you have any further messages for our community? What should we be looking, in addition to being active in the various working groups, bringing our input to the studies?
Yeah, that's the main task, but we still have Release 19 to go, and then follow Release 20. So not only focusing with 20 study items for 6G, please follow also the work items you're interested in the Release 19 and Release 20. Because this would be also good that we do not have any hole in the system where we are lacking sensor requirements from TCCA.
Absolutely. So thank you for that, Peter. And as a message to all of us, in Release 19, there are still mission critical communication enhancements. We have a whole lot of work to do with device-to-device side link multi-hop, for instance. So please do invest your resources in standardization, and above all, stick to standards. That's the only way our community can be able to have the relevant investments and products available. So thank you once again, Peter, and wish you all the best. And looking forward to have another session with you after the next plenary taking place in June in Prague 108. Let's see what we have managed to achieve by then. In the meanwhile, wish you a very successful spring. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tero, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to you here.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Oh.